Have you ever wondered if something as simple as your bedtime routine could be silently threatening your life? Sounds extreme, right? But here's a number that will stop you in your tracks. Over 70,000 seniors in the US die in their sleep every single year. And no, it's not just old age. According to the CDC, a shocking number of these deaths are linked to nighttime habits that could have been prevented. Habits that seem harmless. Habits that you, or someone you love, might be doing tonight. After the age of 60, the body becomes fragile in ways we don't always notice. Your heart beats a little differently, your breathing slows down, and even small changes in temperature, lighting, or movement can send your nervous system into a tailspin. Yet most elderly people, maybe even you, still stick to routines they've followed for decades, unaware that these very routines may be silently sabotaging their health and stealing years from their lives. So, what's the bedtime mistake that triggers the most 911 calls? What's the number 2 habit that doctors call the silent killer of older adults? And more importantly, what can you do tonight to sleep safer and wake up stronger? Stay with us, because in this video, we'll uncover 7 nighttime habits that have quietly claimed the lives of thousands of older adults this year alone. And yes, the second one might be the most dangerous of them all. But don't worry, I'll also guide you through the simple changes that could literally save your life. Before we dive into the details, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Elderly Health Tips, so we can keep bringing you life-saving content like this. Let's get started. 7 dangerous bedtime habits that can be deadly at night. Let's start with habit 7. Drinking too much water before bed. As a doctor who's spent decades working with older adults, I've seen it happen more times than I care to count. A seemingly harmless glass of water before bed turns into a late-night bathroom trip, which turns into a fall. And sometimes, that fall turns into a broken hip, or even a stroke. Let me be clear, hydration is important, but timing matters, especially as we age. According to the National Institute on Aging, over 1/3 of adults over 65 experience nocturia, the medical term for waking up at night to urinate. And studies published in the Journal of the American Geriatrics Society show that frequent nighttime urination doubles the risk of falls, especially in the hours between 2 and 6 a.m. when coordination is weakest and balance is impaired. And it doesn't stop there. When your sleep is constantly interrupted, your body never reaches deep sleep. That's a big deal, because deep sleep is when your brain clears out toxins. It's also when memory is consolidated. Research from Harvard Medical School and Johns Hopkins found that older adults who get less than 4.5 hours of uninterrupted sleep per night are at significantly higher risk for cognitive decline and even early Alzheimer's disease. Now, let me speak to you, not just as a physician, but as a 72-year-old man who's made this mistake myself. For years, I thought drinking a full glass of water right before bed was healthy. But I kept waking up, sometimes 2 or 3 times a night. I felt groggy, forgetful, and more prone to tripping over things in the dark. It wasn't until I started limiting fluids 2 hours before bed that I finally noticed the change. Now I sleep deeper, wake up clearer, and I haven't had a nighttime stumble in months. So, how do you know if this is affecting you? Are you waking up to pee more than once a night? Do you feel drowsy during the day? Or forgetful? Have you had a close call in the bathroom recently? A slip? A stumble? If so, it's time to rethink your nighttime routine. Habit 6. Late-night eating. Late-night eating might feel harmless, even comforting. But for older adults, it can quietly become one of the most dangerous habits we carry into our later years. Let's break it down. Studies from the American Journal of Gastroenterology show that people over 60 who eat within 2 hours of bedtime are 3 times more likely to experience acid reflux, which doesn't just cause heartburn. It can lead to chronic inflammation of the esophagus and increase the risk of esophageal cancer over time. And that's just the start. According to Harvard Medical School, eating late at night disrupts our body's circadian rhythm, the natural 24-hour clock that regulates everything from blood pressure to insulin levels. When you eat too close to bedtime, your body doesn't have time to properly digest. Instead of resting, your organs are forced to keep working, and that throws everything off. Here's what the science says. Late-night meals are linked to higher nighttime blood pressure, poor blood sugar control, and even increased risk of stroke and cardiac events, especially in adults over 65. One study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that older adults who regularly ate late meals had a 35% higher risk of nighttime hypertension, meaning their blood pressure didn't drop during sleep, as it should. So how do you know if this habit is hurting you? Are you waking up with indigestion, bloating, or a dry cough? Does your blood pressure stay high at night, despite medication? Do you feel unusually tired in the morning, even after a full night's sleep? If so, it's time to rethink dinner. Here's what I recommend, and what works for me now at 72. Eat dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime. Keep it light. Think steamed veggies, soup, or a small portion of lean protein. Avoid fried, spicy, or fatty foods in the evening. They slow digestion and trigger reflux. And if you need a little something before bed, try a slice of banana or a few almonds. They're gentle and won't spike your blood sugar. Let me ask you, have you ever felt pressure in your chest at night and brushed it off as just gas? Let's move on to habit 5, sleeping in the wrong position. Sleep, it's supposed to heal us, but when done in the wrong position, it can quietly harm us instead. Let's talk about something most people never question: how you sleep. Not when, but how. Studies published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine show that sleeping on your back, especially for older adults, significantly increases the risk of obstructive sleep apnea, a condition where your airway becomes partially or fully blocked during sleep. That blockage can reduce oxygen flow to the brain by as much as 30%, night after night, slowly starving your most vital organ. I've seen patients, people in their 60s and 70s, who thought their fatigue and forgetfulness were just normal aging. But when we ran sleep studies, we found they were having dozens of apnea episodes every hour, often caused by simply lying flat on their backs. And the damage doesn't stop at the brain. Back sleeping is also associated with acid reflux, snoring, and higher nighttime blood pressure, especially in older adults whose muscle tone is already reduced. So what's the safest position? Most experts, including those at Cleveland Clinic and Mayo Clinic, agree. Sleeping on your left side offers the most benefits. It improves circulation to the heart, reduces acid reflux, supports lymphatic drainage, and can even improve brain detoxification during deep sleep. So, how do you know if your sleep position is hurting you? Do you snore loudly or wake up choking or gasping? Do you wake up tired even after 7 to 8 hours of sleep? Has your partner noticed pauses in your breathing during the night? If so, your sleeping posture might be the hidden culprit. Here are a few tips I give to my older patients, and use myself. Train yourself to sleep on your left side. Use a body pillow or wedge pillow to keep your spine aligned. Keep your head slightly elevated to help with breathing. Avoid heavy meals, alcohol, or sedatives before bed. They all make apnea worse. Habit 4. Sleeping in an overly hot room. A hot bedroom might not seem like a big deal, but for older adults, it can quietly put your heart, your brain, and your immune system at serious risk. Let me explain. Research from the National Institutes of Health and Harvard Sleep Medicine shows that the ideal bedroom temperature for quality sleep is somewhere between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Once temperatures rise above 70 degrees, your core body struggles to cool itself. And that's when problems begin. Older adults are especially vulnerable. As we age, our ability to regulate body temperature weakens. The sweat glands don't function as efficiently, and blood vessels don't dilate as quickly. That means a hot room can easily lead to overheating, dehydration, and inflammation. And when that happens, the body fails to enter deep sleep, the critical stage when the brain restores memory, the immune system repairs itself, and blood pressure naturally dips. In fact, studies published in the Journal of Physiological Anthropology found that high nighttime temperatures reduced deep sleep by up to 40% in adults over 60. And here's the dangerous part. Poor deep sleep is directly linked to chronic inflammation, high nighttime blood pressure, reduced immune function, and an increased risk of stroke, especially during heat waves. So, how can you tell if your room is too warm at night? Do you wake up sweaty, restless, or with a dry mouth? Do you toss and turn for hours before falling into deep sleep? Have you noticed more brain fog or fatigue in the morning? If so, temperature could be the hidden culprit. Here are my go-to tips for older adults. Set your bedroom temperature to between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. Use a fan or ventilation system to keep air circulating. Choose breathable cotton sheets and avoid heavy blankets during warm months. Drink a small glass of water 30 minutes before bed to avoid dehydration. But not too close to bedtime to prevent nighttime bathroom trips. Avoid spicy foods and alcohol in the evening. They raise body temperature and can disrupt thermoregulation. Let's move on to habit 3. Getting out of bed too quickly. Getting out of bed too quickly, it sounds harmless, until it isn't. For older adults, suddenly sitting or standing up, especially after lying down for hours, can trigger orthostatic hypotension. That's a fancy term for a sudden drop in blood pressure when you change positions, and it's more common than you might think. According to the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, nearly 30% of adults over 65 experience this condition regularly. And when it happens, your brain doesn't get enough oxygen fast enough, leading to dizziness, blurred vision, lightheadedness, or in the worst cases, a fall. And the danger is even greater in the middle of the night. Let's say you wake up at 2 a.m., needing to use the bathroom. You sit up fast, stand too quickly, and suddenly, the room starts to spin. There's no time to grab the wall. And just like that, you're on the floor, possibly with a fractured hip, a head injury, or worse. As a 75-year-old physician, I've seen this happen more than I'd like, and I've had a few close calls myself. There was a time last winter when I woke up feeling cold. I sat up fast to pull on another blanket. Next thing I knew, I was holding on to the bedpost to keep from falling. I felt like my body had suddenly shut off. And it wasn't from weakness, it was blood pressure. So what exactly is going on here? When you lie down, blood pools in the lower parts of the body. When you get up too fast, your heart doesn't have time to adjust. And in older adults, especially those on blood pressure meds or with circulation issues, the response is even slower. The result? A brief but dangerous moment where the brain is starved of blood flow. So, how can you know if this affects you? Do you feel dizzy or unsteady when getting out of bed in the morning? Have you ever had a blackout or moment of vision loss when standing up? Have you fallen or almost fallen during nighttime bathroom trips? If yes, you're not alone. And the good news is, there's a simple fix. Here's what I recommend for my senior patients, and what I now do every morning. Before sitting up, roll onto your side first. Stay there for 10 to 15 seconds. Then slowly push yourself into a seated position, and pause again. Once you feel steady, plant your feet on the floor and take a deep breath before standing. Keep a nightlight by your bed, so your eyes adjust easily if you need to move. And one more thing, stay hydrated, especially during the day. Mild dehydration makes orthostatic hypotension much worse. Habit 2. Taking the wrong medication at night. Taking the wrong medication, or taking the right medication at the wrong time, can quietly turn a peaceful night into a medical emergency. And for older adults, this happens more often than you'd think. Let's start with the science. A recent study published in the Journal of the American Geriatrics Society found that over 40% of hospital admissions in adults over 65 were linked to medication-related complications. Many of those complications occurred at night, when the effects of certain drugs are stronger and the body's natural defenses are lower. Medications like sleep aids, sedatives, and even some blood pressure pills can cause serious harm if taken at the wrong time, or without proper monitoring. Here's what can happen. You wake up feeling groggy or confused. You get up to use the bathroom and feel dizzy or off balance. You fall, sometimes with devastating consequences. Or worse, your blood pressure drops too low while you're sleeping, leading to fainting, stroke, or even cardiac arrest. So, how can you recognize if nighttime medication might be harming you? Are you waking up feeling unusually drowsy or disoriented? Do you notice memory lapses after starting a new evening medication? Have you had a fall or a close call after taking pills before bed? If so, it's time to take action. Here's what I recommend for older adults, and what I've personally done at age 76. Keep a written schedule of your medications with specific times clearly marked. Ask your doctor or pharmacist, is this safe to take at night? Avoid combining sleep meds, sedatives, or antihistamines, unless your doctor has specifically approved it. Use a pill organizer with labeled times, morning, noon, evening, to prevent mix-ups. And most importantly, if you feel off the morning after taking something at night, report it. It could be the first sign of a medication interaction or overdose. Habit 1. Ignoring signs of sleep apnea or chronic insomnia. Loud snoring, gasping for air during sleep, or simply lying awake night after night. They may seem like annoyances, but for older adults, these could be life-threatening warning signs. Let's look at the data. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, up to 80% of older adults with sleep apnea, a condition where breathing repeatedly stops during sleep, go undiagnosed. That's a staggering number. And it means millions of seniors are sleeping through silent danger, night after night, without even knowing it. What's worse? Untreated sleep apnea and chronic insomnia don't just make you tired. They increase your risk of heart failure, stroke, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and even Alzheimer's disease. A study from Johns Hopkins Medicine found that people with severe sleep apnea are nearly 3 times more likely to suffer from heart complications. Another from the National Institute on Aging confirmed that chronic poor sleep accelerates brain shrinkage and memory decline in people over 65. And here's the catch. Most older adults don't realize it's happening. I can speak from experience, not just as a doctor, but as a 76-year-old who brushed off sleep trouble for years. I used to think waking up multiple times a night was just part of getting old. But I didn't realize I was waking up because I wasn't breathing. It wasn't until my daughter, who stayed over one weekend, told me she heard me stop breathing for 20 seconds, then gasp loudly, then snore again. That's what finally made me get a sleep study. Sure enough, I had moderate obstructive sleep apnea. Now that I'm on treatment, I sleep deeper. I think clearer, and I don't wake up with heart palpitations anymore. So, how do you know if this could be happening to you? Do you snore loudly, loud enough to wake your partner or yourself? Have you been told you stop breathing during sleep or wake up gasping? Do you struggle with insomnia, lying awake for hours, multiple nights a week? Are you tired during the day, even after 7 or 8 hours in bed? These symptoms aren't just irritating. They could be your body's alarm bell. Here's what I now recommend for all my patients over 60. Get a sleep evaluation, either at a clinic or through a home sleep test. Don't ignore insomnia, especially if it lasts more than a month. Limit caffeine, alcohol, and screen time in the evening. Stick to a consistent bedtime. Your brain loves routine. If diagnosed with sleep apnea, consider a CPAP machine, mouthguard, or other doctor-approved therapies. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Optimal sleep starts with the right environment. You've just learned about 7 seemingly harmless nighttime habits that can actually pose serious health risks for older adults, from taking the wrong medications, to poor sleep posture, to ignoring signs of sleep apnea. These habits can lead to dangerous falls, strokes, heart failure, or memory loss. But you don't have to change everything overnight. Start with one small adjustment. Listen to your body, adjust your routine, and talk to your doctor when needed. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips, and stay with us on the journey to living longer, healthier, and sleeping safer every night.